Have you ever stopped to think about why some villains make you feel fear, while others make you want to run out of the room? Because there is a difference, a brutal difference between the guy who screams, who threatens, who makes a scene, and that other one. The one who smiles, the one who looks you in the eyes with a calmness that shouldn't exist, the one who laughs at a joke only he understands. And that joke, my friend, is your life. Lalo Salamanca isn't your average villain. He's the kind of character who makes you squeeze the couch pillow without realizing it, who makes you hold your breath in a scene where, technically, nothing violent is happening. Just him. Just that smile. Just that energy of someone who could kill you or invite you to a barbecue, and you wouldn't know which until the very last second. And the most disturbing part, he's charismatic. He's funny. He wins you over. That's what makes Lalo the most terrifying psychopath television has ever produced. Think about it with me. We grew up watching villains of all kinds. There's the angry villain who explodes over anything. There's the cold, calculating villain who seems like a robot. There's the tragic villain whose side you actually understand. But Lalo breaks every category. He's an emotional chameleon who uses charm as a weapon. And that weapon, it's more lethal than any gun. When he first appears in Better Call Saul, you don't know what to expect. He walks in smiling, cracking jokes, treating everyone like old friends, and then you think, this guy doesn't seem that dangerous. That's the trick. Because the moment you let your guard down, the moment you start to like him, he shows you who he really is. And by then it's too late. For you and for the characters on screen, there's something psychologists call the mask of sanity. It's the ability certain individuals have to appear completely normal, even pleasant, while hiding absolute darkness inside. Lalo Salamanca is the perfect embodiment of this. He doesn't need to scream to scare you. He just needs to smile at the wrong moment. Ask a question that's too casual. Hold eye contact a second longer than he should. You know that feeling of talking to someone and suddenly feeling a chill down your spine without knowing why. That's what Lalo provokes. He creates a walking cognitive dissonance. Your brain sees a friendly guy, but your instincts scream that something is very, very wrong. And Tony Dalton, the actor who plays Lalo, understood this in a terrifying way. He didn't build a villain. He built a predator who learned to mimic prey. Every gesture, every inflection, every little laugh, everything is calculated to disarm, to make you forget you're looking at someone capable of unimaginable things. Remember that scene where he visits Mr. and Mrs. C? He walks in politely, compliments the food, talks about architecture, seems genuinely interested. And throughout the entire scene, you're sitting there, biting your nails, because you know what he's capable of doing. But the widow doesn't know. She only sees a charming young man asking questions about her late husband. That's the genius of the character. The terror doesn't come from what he does. It comes from what he could do at any moment. He's a ticking time bomb that never explodes when you expect it. And when it does explode, you're never prepared. Now, what makes this even more disturbing is that Lalo isn't driven by anger. He's not vengeful in the traditional sense. He's curious. He wants to know, wants to understand, wants to discover the truth. And he'll do anything, literally anything, to get his answers. Not because he hates the people in his way, but because they simply don't matter to him. That's the void that frightens. The absence of empathy disguised as friendliness. He can like you, can laugh at your jokes, can treat you like a friend, But the second you become an obstacle, you stop being a person. You become just a problem to be solved, and he solves it, always smiling. There is a phrase that perfectly defines the terror Lalo represents. The devil doesn't come dressed in red with horns and a pitchfork. He comes as everything you ever wanted. That's Lalo. He's the neighbor you'd love to have, the guy who helps you change your car tire, the friend who always has a good story to tell, and he's also the guy who can decide your life is over while ordering another beer. You know what impresses me most? The way he contrasts with other villains in the Breaking Bad universe. Gus Fring is cold, methodical, controlled. Tuco is explosive, unpredictable, chaotic. But Lalo is both at the same time. He has Gus's control and Tuco's unpredictability. He can plan every move like a chess player and then change everything on impulse just because he found it more fun. That combination is rare, and it's terrifying because you can't predict, you can't prepare, you can only watch, hold your breath, and hope he doesn't look in your direction. And when he does, when that smile turns toward you, you understand what the other characters feel. That moment when your blood runs cold and your heart races at the same time. That second of absolute clarity when you realize you're refacing something that should even exist in human form. Lalo Salamanca isn't scary despite his charisma. He's scary because of his charisma. He is the wolf in sheep's clothing who doesn't just deceive you. He makes you want to be deceived. He makes you lower your guard because deep down, you want to believe that someone so pleasant can't be that dangerous. And that's exactly how predators work. Better Call Saul created many memorable things. But Lalo Salamanca is perhaps the series' greatest achievement. A villain who doesn't need action scenes to make you nervous. Who turns a dinner into a sequence of psychological. Who makes a simple question sound like a death sentence. He's proof that the deepest fear doesn't come from what's grotesque or violent. It comes from what seems normal, from what seems safe, from what smiles at you while deciding your fate. And now, here's a question to take with you. If the most dangerous evil is the one you don't recognize, how many times have you smiled back at it without knowing?